I'm on the final part of my journey home, which has been a very long day. Left the house at 10 o'clock in the morning, thinking it would be ample time to get to the game. But of course, the National Railway system saw fit to find a way to ruin that. I missed the first 20 odd minutes of the game because the trains went down, and the journey back home was absolutely no better. And to top it all, we got on a train. I thought, oh, here's a bit of luck. Got on the train at Preston, which wasn't even showing up anywhere. It was just sitting at the platform. And the reason why it was sitting at the platform at Preston is because it had broken down. But I didn't know that, because when I got on it, it left Preston Station, only to then sit outside of Preston Station for about 20 minutes. And then they said, oh, the train's got a problem. And it crawled all the way home. So I got back to London 11:30. Naturally, it's Sunday night. Missed my last train, underground train home, and so I had to get another train to as close as possible to where I live. And now the final part of the journey is a 15-minute walk home. I guess it could be worse. Right, let's talk about the football, shall we? I've seen the comments. I've seen everything that people have said. I've had quite interesting conversations with my mates about it. And a lot of people are saying it's much the same as it was before. Yet again, Nuno has thrown away a lead. Yet again, Nuno goes all defensive when we go ahead. And I've just got, I can understand it, but I'm not sure that's necessarily right. And I'll explain why, and I'll try and explain why. Nuno has got a depleted squad. We know we need extra players. He himself has come out and said now, not only do we need extra players, we need more attacking players. So if Nuno had a player on the bench that he could trust to put on, to give us an alternative attacking option, he'd take it. Why wouldn't he? And he doesn't. When we looked at the bench today, we looked at the start. Look at the starting lineup first of all. Orford and Kante in the middle of the park. What a big ask. First game of the season in the Championship, and we're expecting Lewis Orford and Mohamedou Kante to manage our midfield. Alvarez was missing, apparently injured. We'll soon find out if that's true or not. All the other players, the alternative option was James Ward-Prowse. Can you imagine if Nuno had started with James Ward-Prowse, the stick he would have got? Now, I don't know about you, but when we have youngsters playing, you've got to give them a chance. What is it we say? Oh, why doesn't the manager give the youngsters a chance? And then when we give the youngsters a chance, why is the manager playing the youngsters? You can't really have it both ways. You can't say that these young players, these academy players, need an opportunity and need the experience, put them in, and then when we put them in, you slate them. Mohamedou Kante got slated today for some of his play. He's got a lot to learn. He is still learning the game. And, having said that, Mohamedou Kante has now assisted in 2 goals in the last 2 games, today and last week against Portsmouth. Lewis Orford, tidy, but yeah, he needs to bulk up. He needs to get better. He needs to improve, and that's going to take time. You can't just do it overnight. Ollie Scarles, everyone's saying, Ollie, play him. We play him, he makes a mistake, and everyone's on his back. Now, Ollie Scarles headed the ball away on the goal line. There was a dead cert header going in from Fleming, and Scarles headed it away. But he made a rash challenge. Didn't need to. At 2-0 up, even though we didn't necessarily play well, at 2-0 up, we were doing all right. We were holding our own. And what happens? We give a penalty away, and before you know it, Burnley are back in the game. It's the way it goes. And because that gave them the momentum, it put us under the cosh, and they got what we kind of all feared. They got an equaliser. But Nuno's tactics. So let's start with Pablo, the substitution. There's another irony, isn't there? Pablo, We all slate Pablo. He's rubbish. He's no good. He's crap. You know, why did we pay £20 million for him? And yet, the minute Pablo had to come off, we looked at a very different team. You know, if there's one thing that he does, all right, he's not scoring the goals. I'd like him to get a few goals. But the one thing that he does is, when he's on the pitch, he's a disruptor. He disrupts the opposition. He doesn't allow their game to flow. The minute he wasn't on the pitch, we felt that, and we were more under the cosh. Now, why did he sub Pablo? Pablo felt a niggle. What are you going to do? You're going to say to him, well, just because the fans don't want you to come off, I'm going to keep you on and try and hope that you don't make that injury worse. He had no choice. Who was he going to bring on? There was only one experienced midfielder that could come on, because the alternative would have been to throw another youngster on, and then we would have all had a go at Nuno for bringing yet another youngster on in such an important game. You can't have it both ways, people. I do get frustrated with Nuno at times, I do, but when he's got a squad, a depleted squad of, you know, the only experienced players we had on the bench was goalkeeper Areola, Veltman a defender, and James Ward-Prowse midfielder. What else was he going to do? You know, and then everyone complained that Solomon, why did he bring Solomon off? You know, Solomon was actually asking to be brought off. Maybe he just felt tired, fatigue or whatever, but he needed to come off. So what are you going to do? Yeah, it's too easy to criticise the manager for his tactics, but you've got to look at the tools that he's got available to him, you know, and he doesn't have a full squad. We need more players in this transfer window. Now, you can argue till you're blue in the face whose fault that is. Kretinsky, did he sell us a lie? The whole thing with the shares issue, is that what's really ruined everything? Whatever it is, we haven't got to the point where we've given Nuno the squad that he needs. There are more players leaving. Todibo on his way to Marseille. Fulkrug is on his way to Werder Bremen. Wan-Bissaka is on his way to wherever the fuck he wants to go. You know, these players who don't want to play for West Ham United, then go. We don't need you, but we've got to replace them. Diouf came on, looked like he didn't really give a damn. I think he just went straight down the tunnel. I don't even think he clapped the fans. He doesn't want to be here. So if he's got an opportunity to leave, I think he will. So these players are doing us these prima donnas who are getting paid big money are doing us no favours. So when Nuno's got to contend with that, and then he's looking at the bench and he's going, I've got to fill it with youngsters because I've got nothing else. You know, if these players were professionals, you would have had the likes of Wan-Bissaka, Todibo and Fulkrug on the bench, but nothing. So I'm not blaming him yet, because I want to see what Nuno does when he has a full squad at his disposal. If he has a full squad at his disposal, are we going to go out and buy ourselves the players that we need? There's all the talk now. People are upset because Troy Parrott apparently is no longer the prime target as striker, and we're going after Joel Pirlo from Leeds United. And everyone's like, oh my God, I don't want him. He hasn't scored a goal in the Premier League. Well, guess what, people? We're not in the Premier League. We're in the Championship. And his goal tally in the Championship for both Swansea and Leeds United is pretty impressive. 179 appearances, 73 goals in total. That's not bad. And right now, we need players that are very, very capable of managing this Championship. We need players that are going to come in and, you know, they know what's expected of them in the Championship to get us promoted. So I'm all for it. Bring on Joel Pirlo. If he's available, apparently he'll be £10 million cheaper than Troy Parrott. He's got much more experience in the Championship than Troy Parrott. I'm not going to turn it down. But we need other players. We need, you know, Engels will obviously make a difference next weekend against Charlton. I think we'll sign a striker, Pirlo, before the deadline, so maybe we'll have him available. Let's see if Alvarez is going to be available, shall we? and whether he has a niggle or not. So I'm expecting to see a much changed lineup against Charlton next weekend. This is the first game of the season. Disappointed? Yeah, because we went 2-0 up and we couldn't keep hold of that lead. But, come the end of this season, we might be looking at that 1 point and going, well, that's the point that got us promotion. I know what fans are going to say. Well, we might be looking at the 2 points that we lost to suggest that we didn't get the automatic promotion that we wanted. Cut it both ways. I'm home. It's been a long day. I'm absolutely knackered. And I'll be there on Saturday cheering the team on. I think it'll be a much changed lineup, and let's see what we do against Charlton this coming weekend. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'll see you all again very soon.